Doing business today has a lot to do with providing fast, effective customer service. For the gas industry, that service involves scheduled and unscheduled house calls, very often complicated by having to work around the customer's schedule. But in today's competitive business climate, customer service must do more than simply satisfy the customer. It must also be cost and time effective for the utility. At Mueller Company, we recognize that time is a valuable commodity for gas customers and the utility. We're focused on finding new advances in technology that will help gas utilities do their jobs more effectively and at less cost. Now we have an innovative product that helps gas service technicians perform a number of operations at the meter while maintaining a constant, uninterrupted flow of gas to the customer. This product offers cost-saving advantages in the installation and service of meter sets. This helps to eliminate the need for scheduled service calls or relights. Introducing the Mueller Brisco bypass meter valve, a unique solution for today's gas industry. The Brisco valve has a special multi-position key. Depending on its position, gas flow can be directed to the outlet of the valve, to a tamper-resistant port on the side of the valve, or to both. For maximum benefit, two Brisco valves are installed on the meter set, one on top of the riser and one on the customer side. A tamper-resistant port on the side of each valve is used to connect a temporary, regulated bypass line between the two valves. This allows the meter and the regulator to be isolated for testing, service, or exchange, or for main pressure to be verified while gas flow to the customer is maintained without interruption. A reliable gas supply is always available through the port of the Brisco valve on the riser, so there's no need for an external gas supply. With a Brisco valve in the line, there's never any doubt about having sufficient gas available to keep the customer service active. On new installations, by using two Brisco valves, the gas company can install and verify the meter, lock off the valve on the customer side, then let the plumber initiate service once the building is occupied. This saves the gas company yet another service call. And even with a single Brisco valve installed on the riser, technicians can still perform service line and main pressure verifications without taking the meter out of service. Now, with the Mueller Brisco bypass valve, servicing meters is easier and much more cost-effective than ever before. Let's take a look at how this new valve should be installed and operated. For normal operation in the full open position, the lock wing keys of both Brisco valves should face toward the upstream flow of gas. This is the normal operating position for the keys. The valve bodies have markings to indicate the inlet and outlet threaded openings. For the purposes of this video, the riser valve is assumed to be in the upright position. The valves can function in any position. Here's how easy it is to bypass the meter set. First, with both valves in the full open position, remove the tamper-resistant bypass plugs in both of the valves using the Brisco Pentagon wrench. Connect a regulated flexible bypass line to the riser valve and secure the threaded connection. Now, operate the riser valve by moving the lock wing key into the 8 o'clock position. This position will allow gas flow into the bypass line, and it will maintain flow into the meter set. Purge the air from the bypass line, then connect the bypass line to the downstream or customer side valve and secure the threaded connection. Once the bypass line is secure, operate the downstream valve by moving the lock wing key 1/4 turn. This allows the bypass port to become operational. At this point, the only flow entering the downstream valve is now through the bypass port. This valve key is designed to prevent any backflow into the meter set, so the flow of gas through the meter set has been stopped at the downstream valve. Next, operate the riser valve so that the lock wing key is in the 9 o'clock position, allowing the valve to operate in full bypass mode. Positioning ribs have been cast in the valve body to indicate the full bypass position and to prevent turning the key out of proper position. At this point, the regulator, meter, and associated malleable components can be removed. Both valves must remain in place and in a fixed position. Now, to reactivate the meter set, turn the riser lock wing key back to the 8 o'clock position, allowing the gas to flow into the meter set and the bypass line. Make sure all the air is purged from the meter set and tighten all threaded connections. Operate the downstream valve until the lock wing key is facing the upstream direction of gas flow. This will allow the flow through the meter set to pass through the valve. At this point, the bypass port will become non-operational. Now, operate the riser valve so that the lock wing key is once again in the 6 o'clock position. Here also, the bypass port will become non-operational. Carefully remove the temporary bypass line, allowing the line to depressurize as the connections are unthreaded. Install the tamper-proof plugs into both valves using the Brisco Pentagon wrench and tighten both securely. As you've seen, the entire process was done easily in a no-blow environment, while flow to the customer continued uninterrupted. For installations using only one Brisco valve, Mueller suggests an alternate method for working on the meter set, with a Brisco valve on the riser side and a T-in plug on the customer side. Install a regulated bypass hose and a Grunsky bag over the T. Turn the inlet valve to the 8 o'clock position and bleed the air from the bag. Remove the plug from the T inside the bag and insert a Grunsky probe. Turn the riser valve to the 9 o'clock position. All gas flow is now bypassing the meter. To restore service, turn the Brisco valve to the 8 o'clock position. Use the bleeder valve on the bag to remove air from the meter. Remove the probe and replace the plug. Return the Brisco valve key to the fully open 6 o'clock position and then remove the hose and bag. The Brisco bypass meter valve is available exclusively from Mueller Company. Valves designated for use on the riser side of the meter are insulated and available in 3/4 and 1-inch sizes. These valves are used in all applications, whether 2 valves or only 1 are installed. For those applications where 2 Brisco valves are installed, a valve designed specifically for use on the customer side of the meter set is offered in a 1-inch non-insulated version. As you can see, the Brisco bypass meter valve is an important new tool for the gas industry and for service technicians in the field, since they can perform a number of service operations without having to interrupt gas service to the customer and without the need for an external gas source. The Brisco valve eliminates scheduled service calls and relights, and it offers many cost-saving advantages in the installation and service of gas meter sets. While this unique system for servicing gas meters without interruption is new to the industry, the people who developed it are not. The Brisco bypass meter valve is a service solution introduced by Mueller Company, working in cooperation with gas technicians in the field. For more information, contact your Mueller representative or call our customer service center at 1-800-798-3131. We'll show you how much more convenient, efficient, and cost-effective field service calls can be.